Today on 2+U Nevada.
So you can come downtown, hear live music, you can shop from local vendors, you can eat, you can drink. At 7 o'clock when the sun has just gone down is when we will light the arch.
A month-long celebration of events celebrating women. March is Women's History Month. We sit down with Nevada Women's Fund Isla Friedenthal to discuss the kickoff.
It's very modern. It's very forward thinking, isn't it?
Lab-made beef. Apparently, the secret ingredient comes from your favorite brew. A look at the chemistry going into making meat. Plus,
it's my mom,
my counselors, my professors, strangers,
my grandmother,
Bruce Graff.
Who is that one person who never doubted you and you knew believed in you? Imagine being able to tell them exactly what you feel. The heartwarming story. You're watching 2+U Nevada. It's home.
Put everything back in your house the way you like it.
With community and family. And this really is a family affair. It's local food.
Had that garlic in mind, capers.
It's health and wellness. Plus,
we don't have these, and we could be using them.
With plenty of entertainment. 2+U Nevada, brought to you by 911 Restoration. Thank you for joining us for this edition of 2+U Nevada. I'm Sarah Johns, your host. Hope you had the best weekend. Okay, this is the week for many families. Baseball season is starting. Little League gets underway in our household, and that means amazing nights enjoying the diamond, freezing in the beginning, sweating in the end. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. Having said that, life is going to be in upheaval for a while. Add to that the fact that we spring forward this weekend and lose an hour of sleep. I'm already planning my coping mechanisms. Anyway, we have some crazy stories in today's show, from lab-made meat to beautiful flowers to giving of oneself when they're already broke. I hope you're inspired, so don't go anywhere. Thank you for joining us today for 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada, and today we are kicking off Women's History Month. So excited to have Isla Friedenthal, the president and CEO of Nevada Women's Fund, joining us this afternoon, and Ben Harris, the co-founder of Reno Connection Network. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So happy to be here.
Isla, I'm so excited. You are going to be joining us all month long to talk about events that are going around our community in celebration of Women's History Month. But really and truly, this week, we're also kicking off so many events that's also around the Nevada Women's Fund and International Women's Day.
Yes, so March is Women's History Month. So we'll be celebrating all month long. We're very excited. But March 8th is International Women's Day. So Nevada Women's Fund is hosting an event Saturday downtown. We're hosting a block party. It's going to be great. From 3 to 8, we're blocking off the streets. We're going to have food and drink vendors. We're going to have live music from New Wave Crave. And as part of an international initiative called IWD Light Up, we are illuminating the Reno Arch purple, along with landmarks all over the world. Everything from the Eiffel Tower to the Sydney Opera House and our local arch.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh, so exciting to really celebrate women this month. And Ben, I know you're a girl dad. You've got a lot of girls.
Yep.
So it's very important to you to honor and recognize the women in your life. And Reno Connection Network is actually hosting an event earlier this week.
Yeah, absolutely. So back to your comment about the girls, I have 4 daughters. So it's always been important to me to empower them and, promote females in the workforce and do whatever I can to help pave their path or help to pave their path. And, when the partnership with Isla's group with Nevada Women's Fund came about, we jumped at the opportunity to do this. And we're going to have a great event at the Pioneer Center where we get to sit with 3 of the Reno Connection Network board members who are local female entrepreneurs to have a networking discussion talking about empowerment and networking tips and tricks and how you can build a strong sphere of influence in your local community.
And really and truly, Ben, I have to say that is so important with the young professionals learning how to network, whether there be some sort of COVID gap or technology gap. There really and truly is a need for our younger professionals to understand how to network. And even networking itself has changed and done more digital stuff, but it's so important to learn and have that conversation of how to network.
Absolutely. And, we've been doing this in the community for 5 years, and we've done different venue partnerships all over the market, from Reno to Sparks. And this is the first time at the Pioneer Center, so we're really excited to have their support. We have a lot of people coming. We'll have that panel discussion for about an hour, and then we'll go to a full-scale Reno Connection Network networking event where we get a backstage look at the Pioneer Center, and we get to have a great opportunity to network with a lot of the folks that are coming to support the Nevada Women's Fund.
That's so cool. And the Pioneer Center, just an absolutely cool place to be able to see it. And again, this event is March 4th. And the entire event runs from 3:15 to 6 o'clock, the panel, and then networking. Now, this is a free event, but we're putting a graphic up on your screen because in the bottom corner, there's a QR code. We do want folks to register ahead of time, right? So we can get a head count and kind of plan for that.
Yes, please. That would be great.
Fantastic. So 2 great events this week to really kick off Women's History Month, and of course, the Nevada Women's Fund big celebration of International Women's Day. Isla, remind everybody what that is.
The downtown Reno block party. Come and join us. I'm so excited to turn that arch purple. We did it last year. It's absolutely gorgeous. The city will leave it up all month long for us so that the community is reminded every time they look at it what we're celebrating all month long.
So should people go straight to the arch, and at what time do you want them there?
Yeah, so the event starts at 3. It's going to go until 8 p.m. So you can come downtown, hear live music. You can shop from local vendors. You can eat. You can drink. At 7 o'clock, when the sun has just gone down, is when we will light the arch. But then we're going to have music after that, so you can stay and play and dance and maybe network.
Yeah. Perfect.
You guys, thank you both so much for joining us this afternoon. Isla, we'll see you later on this month.
It's going to be a fun month.
It sure is. You're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada. Super excited to have Chris Poland of 911 Restoration Reno joining us this afternoon. Chris, thank you so much for being here. I have to tell you, this photo, because Chris is bringing some really cool projects that 911 Restoration has done in town. This photo is super funny to me, but you say this is what a typical roof leak looks like. I mean, I have never seen paint do that.
Yeah, a lot of times when we have these rainstorms, all of a sudden, northern Nevada, we're going to get, it just comes, rains for 3 days, and then we have slow periods and stuff. And so when that happens, all of a sudden people start to notice that their roof is failing. And so it'll come down, find their lowest point, and start dripping on the roof, get to your paint, start causing a big bubble. This is a picture of a bubble about this big. And then that's usually when the homeowners notice that we have damage.
Uh-oh, we got a problem.
Then they call us, and then we get in there, assess everything, crawl through the attic, start protecting the property, and help the homeowner with any insurance claims or roof repairs. We try to help them out through the whole process.
And a roof leak, because water moves, like you said, and it goes to the lowest point, I mean, it takes some investigating to actually find where the leak is starting, correct?
Absolutely. Usually it's not where you see it in your roof. Usually it's going to be above somewhere in a valley, or where 2 roofs meet or something like that as well, a ridge. And then we get up in the attic, we crawl around, and usually it's going to start somewhere high, run, and then drip. And that's where you'll notice it. So it'll start showing itself there. And it's also drip in other areas that you're not noticing, not as much water, and then start running down your exterior walls, for example. But we're so used to seeing it, chasing it down, that we can pretty much figure out where it starts and finish to assess it.
Okay, so next picture, we actually see where you have cleared out that paint and you're starting that investigative process. And yeah, but that it's not just that hole in the ceiling, like you said. The restoration process could be the entire room, right?
Absolutely. A lot of times a client comes in, they go, well, it's just right here. We go, okay, well, let's take a look at it. It could be just right there. And then we get up there and look. We have all our moisture sensors, our thermal cameras and stuff. And that way we can show the client, this is where it's showing itself, but actually you have damage all throughout this area and through up here. And once we open it up, we can show the client and they go, oh, yeah, absolutely right. The water just kind of runs. There's certain areas where it really puddles up and shows its place first, but there's more damage typically than what you see when there's a rainstorm and you just see a little leak. A lot of times there's other damages, other areas.
So we're going to show the photo of where you open up the hole or the paint droop, which I absolutely love. And if you take a look at this photo, you see the window with 3 shades just to the right. Now we're going to take a picture of how you've opened up that ceiling. And with that, we can see, okay, so you at home might think, oh, we only need like 2 square feet patched and fixed, but this is actually a much larger issue.
Absolutely. A lot of times what happens is when there is this roof leak, it's probably not the first time it showed itself. It was probably not as bad before and you were never able to actually notice it. And so there was other water damages in the past, which could cause some growth or deteriorations of those areas. And so once we open it up, we go look and we kind of follow it. We start in the main area, go past it a couple feet. And then if we still see signs of water damage or staining, then we'll go past it. We try to go past everything by a couple feet just to make sure. And then a lot of times the water hits the ceiling and then it migrates on your wall and then comes down the exterior wall or an interior wall. So we want to make sure while we're there, drywall's opened up, that we get everything, because a little bit of extra drywall works, nothing major if you're already there doing the work.
Absolutely. And then the other weird thing too is when we've got snow, which it hasn't happened yet, but when we have snow in our area, it takes the snow melting for you to identify these leaks as well. Sometimes it's not just a rainstorm. It could be a month or 2 after a snowstorm that you notice something like this.
Yes, 3 years ago, I think it was year 22, 23, that big giant winter.
Yes.
Once it got warm, it was considered a cat event. So there were so many ice dams in Lake Tahoe to where literally if you look on the edge of a roof, you'll see that big chunk of ice on the edge of the roof where it overhangs because there's not heat from the attic because it's the overhang on the roof. So the ice forms right there. And then we'll get up there and the ice is leaking. We'll pull back the snow behind it and it'll be this deep of water. So it's really an ice dam and there's really a lot of water and it backtracks up through underneath the tar paper on your roof and starts leaking into your house. And once that starts and it's really warm and there's 5 feet of snow on your roof, it's a big project. So a lot of damage.
So be sure to break icicles if you see them.
When you can, please get your roof shoveled and cleared off, remove all that excess ice when you can. It was just hard that year. There was so much snow you couldn't keep up with it, but absolutely.
All right, Chris, 911 Restoration. If people need you, we hope you don't, but if people need you, where do they go?
Please find us online. Just Google 911 Restoration Reno or 911 Restoration Tahoe. We serve both areas. We'll pop right up on Google and give us a call. We'd love to assess your situation.
Chris Poland, thank you for joining us this afternoon. You're watching 2+ Nevada. You are watching 2+ Nevada. Joining us this afternoon, Kathy Carstairs, the Vice President of Wake Up Nevada, with a very important discussion for everyone at home. Kathy, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me here.
So let's talk about Wake Up Nevada and tell people how it came about.
So Wake Up Nevada was founded in 2020 by Darcy Patterson. Her daughter overdosed on her 21st birthday in 2017. She needed to find a way so other parents didn't feel like we did. I also lost a son. So I joined Wake Up Nevada in 2021, and we've just been going hard ever since.
And not only have you lost a son, but you've also lost a number of family members due to fentanyl being out there.
Yes, I lost 2 nephews, a great niece. My 10-and-a-half-month-old granddaughter touched the surface. She overdosed on methadone, fentanyl, but it took 9 doses of Narcan, and it did save her life.
Thank God for that.
Yes.
You know, and you and I were just talking, and it's terrifying, but it's information that we need to have as families in our community. You said a child could just touch a surface, be it a park.
Absolutely.
And they will touch fentanyl and can overdose.
Or rent in an Airbnb or a motel room that wasn't cleaned properly, and that has happened.
Okay. So let's talk about Narcan as a drug. And for anybody at home who thinks, oh, not my kid, or this isn't going to be something that I need to worry about, why is it important that every home have Narcan?
Because it can be your kid, whether it's a teenager who tried something for the first time. Even marijuana is laced with fentanyl. It can be the child who got in the medicine cabinet. It's for the grandparent who had surgery and is still in pain and forgot they already took a pain pill. Now they've taken another one. It's for the high school football player who got injured and was prescribed opioids, and it got out of control. And unfortunately, it affects everybody. It's affected our police force. They're doing searches. They have overdosed on fentanyl just from coming in contact. They've sent their police dogs in on warrants. Dogs don't come out. Handlers go in, and they've overdosed. And Narcan has saved them as well.
And we are using the word fentanyl, but really and truly, Narcan works for opioid.
Absolutely. Opioid
overdose.
Yes. Whether it be pills from your doctor, heroin, fentanyl, anything opioid driven.
And that's an important distinction because, like you said, pain pills. If you have prescription pain pills at home, you recently had a surgery, and then somebody goes into your medicine cabinet and takes too many, these overdoses are happening more and more. And, I used to work at the sheriff's office, and I can say this is a problem in our community, in our society, and the only way we can solve it is by taking things into our own hands.
Absolutely. So be prepared to save somebody. It could be your own child. It could be, just somebody in a Taco Bell bathroom. You could be the person. You could be the first responder while waiting for emergency assistance to get there.
So how do we recognize an overdose? How do we recognize somebody who might be in an opioid overdose?
So they'll be non-responsive, shallow breathing, sometimes gurgling or foaming at the mouth, just non-responsive. It's hard to tell, but people turn clammy and they get cold because they aren't getting oxygen.
So this is what Narcan looks like. And I'm going to hold this up. This is what Narcan looks like. It is a nasal spray. And so it's got like a thumb depressor right here in the center. You put your 2 fingers here and you pinch up like so to give this nasal spray to someone. And as you mentioned with your grandchild, you said that it could take multiple doses of Narcan. But if somebody has to administer Narcan, show us on your crash test dummy what it looks like.
So if you come across a person that isn't responding, you want to try to see if they're able to speak or move at all. You can also try a sternum rub. Mm-hmm. That's right here. That usually, if the person is not overdosing, they will flail around a little bit.
Because a sternum rub is designed to be somewhat painful to get a response.
Absolutely. So you would make sure the person is flat on the ground, tilt their head back just a little bit to open that airway. You're going to put Narcan here, push this button. It is just a nasal spray, just like that. You are going to turn them on their side in case when they do come 2, they can throw up. They also become agitated, so you would kind of want to step back. It's not a replacement for 911. You call 911. If they're still not responding in 2 minutes, you give them another dose on the other side.
Okay.
And you can do that every 2 to 3 minutes while waiting for the EMT to get there.
How many doses are in a vial?
There's only one.
One spray.
There's one spray, and what that does is it knocks the opioids off of the receptors for a short period of time. Therefore, you may have to give them another one before they start to breathe. And in shortness, I tell people, give them a dose, call 911. They're going to walk you through the absolute rest until they can get there. Just don't leave that person alone.
Okay, so Wake Up Nevada, a very important resource for families in Northern Nevada. Do you provide Narcan?
We do. We are allotted Narcan through the opioid settlement from the state. We have placed 32 Narcan boxes. Look like old newspaper machines around town. They can walk up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No shame, no stigma attached. Just take what you need. And there are QR codes that lead them to recovery treatment programs as well, because we kind of want to do the whole wraparound.
Yes.
We don't want to just we want to keep you alive long enough to get into recovery, because you can't see recovery if you're dead.
No better words than that. All right. Kathy, thank you so much for what you are doing. Thank you for the information for families at home, and thank you for getting Narcan out there.
Thank you.
You're watching 2+ Nevada. You are watching 2+ Nevada. We are so excited to have Chris Mazzaferri here, the CEO of First Tee Northern Nevada. Chris, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, I am really excited to learn more about First Tee. This is a nonprofit organization to help our youth learn not only golf, but life skills.
Yeah, we use the game of golf to teach kids life skills such as honesty, integrity, perseverance, and it's all done through activities.
That's so cool. And First Tee has been in our community how long now?
We've been here about 25, 26 years now.
In that time, though, you have grown so much. In fact, you have a big project at Wild Creek.
We do. We actually got the Wild Creek Golf Course was deeded to First Tee, so First Tee owns the entire property now. And we've done started a huge renovation project over there. We renovated the new executive course that was already there, but we put in new cart paths, new bunkers, made it just look amazing. And then we built a brand new 9-hole championship golf course. And so all the outside is done, and we'll be having a driving range there. The driving range will be a triple-decker range. And the cool thing about it is it's open to the public. So
It's not just for First Tee participants.
No.
It's just when people go, they're also supporting First Tee.
Totally. It'll make our First Tee chapter one of the biggest chapters in the network, and it'll also be really self-sustainable because the public will be involved.
Oh, that's got to be so rewarding.
It is.
And then you can tell just by my questions, I'm not a golfer.
That's okay.
So forgive me with that. But with that, with you having Wild Creek, is that something that young kids can play, or is that too big of a course for these kids?
No, so I think one of the really coolest things about the Wild Creek is because there is an executive course. And so the executive course is a smaller golf course. It's more par threes, smaller holes, and then there's a championship golf course where there's, par fives, par fours, so longer holes for kids. So anybody new at golf or any youth playing golf, it's a great place to start. And so I say Wild Creek will be a really good place for people to start and finish. Because when you're young or when you're brand new to the game, you're intimidated by going to a big golf course because the holes are too long. So the executive course will be a great place for everybody to start. And then when you're a senior, you might not, have the time, or you don't want to play the big golf course, but you can finish there. So it's a start and finish place.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now I have my son's friends. They have been members of First Tee, or they've been involved in First Tee, and have absolutely fallen in love with the game, right? And so what is it that these kids are learning? What life lessons? You gave us a broad brush. but the curriculum that these kids get.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most amazing junior programs, just because of the fact that when your kids play sports, there's always an umpire or referee calling fouls or infractions that your kids make during play. And in golf, it's all about you. You're your own judge. You're your own ruler. If you hit the ball out of bounds and want to kick it in, you can. But I'm just saying that it's a game where it has to do so much with life. Most of the time when you teach kids to play the game of golf, it's all about being honest and calling penalties on themselves. And I think it just relates to having better kids and kids who actually are going to do better and not fib, not lie, tell the truth, and the importance of doing all that in life.
Wow.
It's really neat.
And you have programs throughout the year. I just asked you about camps. There are camps, but really and truly your year starts when?
We have 2 camps that'll start in March, and we're actually going to be opening up the executive course at Wild Creek in April. So we'll have our 2 camps in March at Wild Creek, and then our actually programming starts in April.
And then with that programming, is it a season or is it year round?
So we offer programming spring, summer, and fall. And then the weather normally gets bad, but this year it's been amazing. Winter, so we don't program in the winter. Although when we get Wild Creek finished, we will look at programming year round.
And then with that Wild Creek rebuild, or with you taking over Wild Creek, there are partnership opportunities, right?
Yeah, it's a big price tag. It's the price tag for the project was $16.4 million. We've raised over $8 million already.
Wow.
But we still have a long way to go, and we have a ton of opportunities for naming rights, for people to donate, to help us get there.
That's fantastic. So for anyone who's looking for children's programming or getting your youth involved, where do people go, and where do people go if they want partnership?
So you can always go to our website at firsttnorthernnevada.org, or you can give me a call. Just Google First Tee and all the information is online.
Wonderful. Yeah. And final question, are there scholarship opportunities?
So 72% of the kids that participate in our program do not pay anything. So we have, we scholarship kids that anybody can join the program. You don't have to be able to afford it. We're pretty reasonable on pricing. I did a search on youth sports and I was amazed at how expensive youth sports are now. So it's very affordable. It's an 8-week session and it's less than $100 to do our program. So yeah, it's crazy, yeah. And if kids can't afford it or need help, we don't turn anyone away.
Well, Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you for
what you're doing for our kids.
So thank you for all you do. It's great to get this information out. So thank you so much.
We appreciate you. You're watching 2+U Nevada.
An unexpected twist in the future of food. Researchers in the UK say brewing leftovers may be the key to growing better meat in the lab. Talk about a new take on leftovers. Tina Kraus reports from London.
A burger and a beer. It's a classic combo. Now British researchers are giving the pairing a scientific spin, using yeast left behind from brewing beer to create edible building blocks, a framework to help animal cells grow into lab-made meat.
The bacteria can grow on lots of different things, but the advantage of feeding them with this waste product is that we can turn waste that would otherwise be thrown away into something useful.
Scientists at University College London tapped into leftover yeast from a local brewery to test how well it could support growing cells while tackling ethical issues like sustainability and animal welfare.
It's very modern. It's very, very, very forward thinking, isn't it?
The goal, to give lab-made meat the right texture and chew while keeping production costs low.
We have this machine, the texture analyzer, which measures the force required to compress our cube, and that tells us how chewy our sample is.
The study found beer waste gave lab-made meat a texture closer to the real thing, and animal cells grew well on the frame it formed. The team now plans to try other cell types like fat and muscle, and test yeast from different beers to see which produces the best results. From pint glass to petri dish, it's a full circle food experiment scientists say could help beef up the future of dinner. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
From growing meat to growing lettuce, farmers in Yuma, Arizona are racing against the heat. They are fast-tracking their harvest operations as temperatures approach triple digits earlier than usual. Karina Bazarte shows us the process.
Take a look at this big, beautiful field with lettuce ready to be picked up and shipped to destinations across the United States and Canada. But with temperatures nearly hitting triple digits, farmers say they need to speed up the harvest season. It's lettuce harvest season. As temperatures rise, farmers already have a plan in place to keep lettuce looking fresh.
You know, the weather's been a little unusual this year, but the heat does impact our crops.
John Boltz is a co-owner of Desert Premium Farms in Yuma. His family has been in the farming industry for generations.
I'm a 5th generation to farm in the U.S. and 2nd generation to farm here in Yuma County.
The lettuce grown here ends up on dinner tables across the U.S. and Canada. This is how lettuce looks when it's ready.
You don't want the knife in the dirt, so you want to keep it above the dirt, yeah. And you can slide it down, and just give it a cut there. Sorry, my knife's not very sharp.
It's okay.
And then
it's time for salad.
In each acre, there's about 60,000+ servings for an individual, so an individual salad.
But Bolt says this season, the weather has been different, and it's creating challenges. Last fall, Yuma received nearly 3 times the normal rainfall, and now the temperature is already in the 90s.
Now we're getting ready for harvest. It's been through some warmer temps than we normally would expect.
Bolt says it's speeding up the harvest. Farm workers having to start early as 4 a.m., and when the temperatures get closer to the triple digits, they'll start at night. It's a race against the heat.
And once we cut a head of lettuce to get it into the cold chain quickly, so we want to get it cut in the packaging in the field and to a local cooler. Here we're about a 35 to 45 minute drive into town, and so they need to get it cut, palletized, cartonized, palletized, and on a truck headed to Yuma fairly quickly.
And John Bolt says if you want to start planting your own lettuce, make sure it's the right time and be ready for the warm weather. Reporting in Wilton, Karina Bazarte for Arizona's Family.
For about 10 weeks each spring, one hillside in Carlsbad, California, transforms into a sea of bright colors, thanks to 80 million flowers. And this year, they've bloomed a little early. Olivia Gonzalez-Britt shows us the beautiful scenery.
It draws more than 150,000 visitors every year, a springtime tradition that's become one of the most recognizable flower displays in the entire world. And once you see it, you understand why. Rolling hills painted in rows of red, pink, orange, and yellow. A view that staff says never gets old. Do you ever get tired of the view?
No, definitely not. You feel a little escape.
For about 10 weeks each spring, the hillside above Carlsbad Ranch transforms into nearly 80 million giant Ticcolodi ranunculus flowers. And this year, they've bloomed a little early. Even though New Year's Day brought rain, the rest of winter has stayed relatively dry here in San Diego, something that the flowers have actually loved.
It allowed our field that you'll see behind me to germinate quickly, meaning kind of come to life, get green faster than normal.
For those visiting, there's more to do than just take pictures. There will be live weekend music, yoga sessions, and for the first time ever, a 5K race.
We're gonna do a 5K for the first time ever. That's kind of St. Patrick's Day themed on March 15th. And we have a lot of other workshops and wellness classes that we do here that people can add to their experience.
The butterfly encounter is also bigger this year. It's now a 1,000 square foot greenhouse filled with hundreds of butterflies. Visitors can walk and feed the exotic species like the blue morpho and the emperor birdwing. Peak bloom is expected between the 1st and the 3rd week of April, and until then, every week brings a little more color to the hillside. And if early blooms are any sign, spring has finally sprung in Carlsbad.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. A beautiful story coming out of the Hawaiian Islands with a local twist. A man hard on his luck gives the gift of free surfing lessons, and a Carson City man is one of the beneficiaries. Steve Hartman is on the road in Honolulu. CBS's David Begnaud has a new weekly podcast called The Person Who Believed in Me. It features well-known names talking about the person who believed in them before they were famous. This week, David takes that same question to everyday Americans and lets them tell their own stories.
We set up a sign in one of the busiest places in Los Angeles, the Grove, with one simple question. Who believed in you?
The one person that believed in me is my mom.
My counselors, my professors, strangers.
I actually have never done this, so it's like,
okay, I'm ready.
My grandmother.
Bruce Graff. He was my art teacher in the 7th grade. To this day, he's still my friend. I just turned 60. And every time hold on. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Edwin Gomez moved from Puerto Rico to New Jersey in 1977, a teenager trying to find his place. And there was an art teacher named Bruce Graff who noticed him, but more importantly, listened to him.
How you doing? Good.
Edwin and I met up to talk about Bruce, who's now 79 years old, retired, and living in New Jersey. He's kept in touch with Edwin for almost 50 years.
Edwin would just be there continually, either by phone, by letter, just became one of the family.
From 2,700 miles away, we set Bruce up to watch my conversation with Edwin, who didn't know that Bruce was listening in.
What did he do for you that felt like someone believing in you?
In Latin culture, you're often told, to know your place. He talked to me. He never talked down at me. He always talked to me as an equal, eye to eye. And that was somewhat new to me. And it made an impact. I felt this guy listened to me. When he talked to me, it was with purpose.
You're a father.
I am.
You're married.
I am.
You're a tennis coach, but is it true that you're now a therapist?
Yes, I am. But when I graduated high school, Bruce told me, you should consider psychology. You have a great disposition for it. So I might be a little slow, but here I am at 60 as an AMFT.
What do you think of conversations like this around the person who believed in me?
They're great. The things that Bruce said to me, the way he was with me, have shaped so much of who I am. So I am very, very aware of what my impact can be on another person.
Sit tight. Okay, guys.
Brewski, can you see me?
Absolutely, and have been watching you for quite some time, young man.
Was I on point?
It certainly was for me. You teach 4,000 kids in a lifetime, and all you need is one to say what you said, and makes it worthwhile.
Well, I hope I've expressed some of this to you in the past.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, not more than one person knows.
I want you to know that you were as much an influence on my life as you seem to think I was on yours.
What's the takeaway, Bruce?
I am absolutely delighted with this whole idea and a chance for me to hear from students that they still hold a memory that's fond. It is one's little taste at an old age of immortality.
Oh.
We'll be right back. Are you a business or nonprofit and want to be featured on 2+U Nevada? Have a Mom to Mom Monday, a Tried It Tuesday, or even a cute pic you just want to show us? The whole point of 2+U Nevada is the plus you. You can send us your content by visiting our website. Head to 2news.com and click on 2+U Nevada. Or you can email us at 2+UNevada@ktvn.com. Police in Atlanta, Georgia are warning parents to double check what's in their children's lunchbox after a Cutwater lemon drop martini was found in a student's lunch. The Facebook post from the South Fulton Police Department warning parents went viral on social media. It reads, "Before you send them babies off to school, check the lunchbox. Because why are we getting reports of juice boxes sitting next to Cutwater margaritas? That is not Capri Sun. That is not apple juice. That is a whole parent had a long night starter pack." That's it for this edition of 2+U Nevada. Thank you for inviting us into your home this afternoon. We look forward to joining you every weekday at 3 for 2+U Nevada. 2 News Nevada at 4 starts now.